watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jasmine Anderson. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. According to the New York State Cancer Registry, breast cancer is more common on Long Island than in the state and nationwide. But there is strength in numbers. Enter the Sea of Pink at Jones Beach. 60,000 people participated in this year's breast cancer walk, making it among the largest in the nation.
Throughout the year, you just bottle it down. It's not part of your everyday anymore. And so when we get to come here, it's really good.
Sherry Einhorn spoke to a survivor and her doctor about her diagnosis, battle, and so much more.
We are shedding light on the innovative treatments and inspiring survivors right here on Long Island. I am joined by Dr. Sylvia Reyes, breast surgeon at Northwell Health Cancer Institute, and breast cancer survivor Keisha Scott. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Keisha, you were diagnosed at age 36. Can you take us through your journey?
Yes, so I basically felt a lump on my chest. I initially thought it was part of my skin condition that I have called steatocystoma multiplex. It didn't go away. I kept feeling it, and then I was like, let me go get this checked out. I had a doctor's appointment coming up, so I told my doctor about it. She sent me for a mammogram and sonogram. Then it came up that it was a suspicious lump. Then I had to wait a week. Went and got a biopsy, wait another week for the results for that, and then that came back that it was cancer.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Keisha's diagnosis and what red flags, if any, there were, or a little bit more about what we need to know?
So once she had it biopsied and we saw that it was both invasive breast cancer and DCIS. Those are two different types of breast cancer that many times we do see them in conjunction.
Okay.
So the invasive type of breast cancer is what most of us refer to as breast cancer. And that's breast cancer that starts in the breast and eventually can spread to the lymph nodes and eventually can spread elsewhere and affect other organs. But when treated early, like in Keisha's case, then we can help prevent that. And DCIS is breast cancer cells that are inside the duct, but they haven't figured out how to spread yet. So they're stuck inside the duct.
Okay. Keisha, so you had a bilateral mastectomy and you went through radiation therapy. What was your treatment like? I think a lot of people don't know what it's like unless they've been through it, obviously.
So with the surgery, it was a bilateral mastectomy and reconstruction at one time.
Okay.
10-hour surgery.
Wow.
I was scared. I even called Dr. Reyes and I said, I don't know if I could do this. But she always talked me through it, and I was able to. I just told myself I have to do what I have to do. I had the surgery. It was about a 2-month recovery time. I was home. I had my family helping me, my in-laws, my mom, my kid's father. And then radiation happened months later.
Okay. Dr. Reyes, there are new mammogram guidelines, right, from the FDA. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So for every mammogram, so by law, we have to report the level of density. And the way that we've been reporting it has been, there's 4 different categories. And sometimes that can be confusing because 2 of those categories are considered not dense. 2 of those categories are considered high density. And the implications of each are very different. So for women that have very dense breasts, we often will recommend supplemental screening. So whether that's with an ultrasound or an MRI, or we also have contrast enhanced mammography. But there's a lot more that goes to whether you need additional screening. And that's why it's really important to speak to your doctor to find out really what is your risk category. Density is part of the story, but other things really play into that. Family history, history of abnormal biopsies, lots more.
So what's your advice, Keisha, for others who have been diagnosed with breast cancer? watching this?
Just pray. You know, you never know what the actual thing is going to turn out to be. You know, the earlier the better. You get diagnosed, you treat it, you do what you have to do, save your life, you know, live your life, and just pray. Prayer really helps.
That's Dr. Sylvia Reyes and Keisha Scott. Thank you both for being here. Thank you for sharing your story, Keisha. Thank you for your tips and suggestions.
What a journey. Two Long Island sisters are taking steps to prevent breast cancer. Beth Whitehouse has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
A mastectomy is not a boob job, it's an amputation. So I think that's a very important distinction to make.
Long Island sisters Amy Lynn and Danielle Safety each had both breasts removed in their 20s before they even had any signs of breast cancer. They had inherited a gene mutation that gave them an 87% chance of developing breast cancer in their lifetimes.
So I decided to have a prophylactic double mastectomy at 29 years old, but it's not just a one and done type of thing. That was my first of 5 procedures in order to reconstruct my chest post-surgery.
A way to kind of describe it for the layperson to understand is basically like a pumpkin being carved. So carving the inside of a pumpkin out, meaning carving all of the breast tissue out of the skin that surrounds it, which would completely or almost nearly eliminate your risk of developing breast cancer. My mom had cancer, so with cancer, most of the time comes with chemo and radiation, losing your hair, being completely bald, chronic fatigue, nausea, no appetite, and watching my mom kind of go through that. I personally never wanted to be in a similar situation.
The family was surprised to find out it wasn't mom who passed the daughters the mutated gene.
Well, they did the testing and I'm the one that had it.
Were you shocked?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about it. With Guy, you don't think about breast cancer. So yeah, I was shocked. And then I started thinking about, my dad's like, well, my sister Vicky had it, my sister Celia had it, you know, and then their daughters had it. It's like, yeah, it came from his side.
David says he felt responsible for his daughter's pain.
Yeah, I felt very guilty. But, you know, what can I do about it? It's a gene, right?
Actually, in 2024, there is something the sisters can do to eliminate the mutation in future generations.
I decided to undergo 2 rounds of cryopreservation, which is also known as egg freezing. That way, in the future, when I'm ready to have a family, I could eventually test my embryos to see if they carry the mutation, and I can selectively eliminate the mutation from my family tree.
For Newsday TV, I'm Beth Whitehouse.
One Long Islander has made it his mission to help other men battle the deadly disease. Sherry Einhorn has a story.
This is different than this. Auction nose off. It's a breast cancer ribbon.
Plainview's Michael Landisberg is overseeing, organizing, and finalizing pretty much every part of this breast cancer fundraiser. It's called All Boobs Matter.
All boobs matter because men have breasts too.
Michael was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer 4 years ago. He had surgery and chemotherapy. That's when we first met. Back then, he talked a lot about his incredible support system.
I vowed to pay it forward and help others. And I did that on camera with you back in 2020, and I kept my promise.
Where do you want me?
Michael is the executive chef at Jackson Hall American Bar and Grill in East Islip. His 2023 fundraiser here raised more than $26,000, and he says 2024's event is on track to smash that. The money will be split between the West Islip Breast Cancer Coalition and the Male Breast Cancer Global Alliance.
Michael is a powerhouse. I honestly have never met anybody like him. He has taken his disease and turned it into such a positive thing.
Now, obviously, raising money from fundraisers like this one is critically important when it comes to programming and research. But everyone here says raising awareness about male breast cancer is just as important.
It's not something that you think about as a man.
He does now, and he makes sure others do too. Michael found out through genetic testing that he has 2 different gene mutations that put him and possibly his family at a higher risk for breast, ovarian, pancreatic, and prostate cancer. But for now, he says,
I feel great. I'm in good health. I'm cancer-free, thank God.
In East Islip, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
Sherry, thank you. You can find more stories like this on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Thanks for joining us to raise awareness in the fight against breast cancer. I'm Jasmine Anderson. You're watching Newsday TV.